As if I needed any more reasons to be excited, Stumpy. We just keep adding to it. Welcome, everybody, to the Saturday, and a big Saturday for an awful lot of teams. One of them here, obviously playing Team Envy, Stumpy. And as they were saying over on the desk, it's one thing to do it in the previous era, but Turbo looks to now do it in the next one and send his team through to London.
He's back! Like, Illusion, bless him, is feeling a bit sicky, so he's not going to be playing today at least. We don't know about tomorrow, what's going to be happening if Envy do make it through. But Turbo is here. Theoretically, we could be seeing him go through to Worlds. And everybody, Leaf already rammed it down your throat as much as he could, but buy your tickets, get involved. You need to come to the biggest RLCS event we have ever had over at Dickie's Arena, but there are still teams that are trying to make it there. Envy just want to try and lock in their place. This is one step on their journey to getting there.
Yeah, currently only 40 points separating Envy and Complexity in the overall standings. That is between 6th and 7th. North America, though, after the incredibly good performance they had over in LA. By the way, Stumpy's still jealous that you were over at that one. You don't really want to be risking that. You also don't want to be stuck in a Rule 1 against your teammate. That tends to be counterintuitive. Yeah, for NA, that LA performance helped out an awful lot, but you still want to just be over in that top 6, get yourself into those wildcard spots.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, confirm yourself as early as you can, and then it brings some of that pressure off. Some teams thrive under it, but you don't want to rely on those late day pop-offs where you need to have the performance of your life. Oath going for a fantastic shot there, but saved away by Mist. The minute gone and no incident. Complexity and all of their fans will be having a very close eye on this series, and a cracking shot from the midfield sent long by Drees.
I want to take a look at this rotation one more time, actually, on the side of Akrew, because, well, there's 3 players behind that ball. There was 0 players in front of the ball by the time it had got into the back of the net. A huge rotational mistake there from Akrew, who the desk did mention are the team that are coming in without any real threat to their season, because their season is already done. This is the final tournament that they will play. And this is something that we were all kind of looking forward to. When this format was announced, there was always the realization that by the time we get to the end of the season, due to the nature of Rocket League, new teams might pop up, new players might pop up, and they're just going to be the landmines that will prevent some of these top teams from having the easy run that they might have expected.
I mean, yeah, you talk about the landmines, and Akrew is absolutely explosive. Like, step on them and you are going to go sky high, because they have had a very, very big impact on this tournament so far. We are here in lower round 3 on the Saturday, and despite that, Akrew are the season leaders in a couple of stats, which is quite impressive. Sure, there are less data points for them, but 85% of all of their goals, for example, this season have been assisted. That's nuts. They are the #1 team at the moment across the season. They're number 3 in spring. They play together so incredibly well. They also have unreal save statistics, and they are aggressive. They want to not just be a team that will float around, you know, maybe take a scalp here and there. They want to make sure that these big teams are scared of them. The major contenders aren't just going to be getting a free dub.
Well, right now, they're up against a 1-goal lead for Team Envy, and it was an Envy squad that, when they first brought Turbo in, kind of just got known for 1-0. As Fifi gets faked out by Mist, who tried to show that maybe he'll go up the backboard, couldn't find the demo, infield pass to Turbo. This is an Envy lineup that, if you look at it, should be one of the most difficult ones to break down once they have that 1-goal lead. The difficulty has always been for them is getting that 1-goal lead. It tends to go maybe downhill a little bit before then.
That's a very key word, Shogun, that you said, though. Should.
Yep.
Should, theoretically. Look, and we've said that about Envy so many times, that it should be hard to beat them. It should be hard to score against them. But they have made it easier at times for their opponents than I'm sure that they would have liked.
Well, this has been the split that they have managed to start putting some of those demons to rest. Now we're looking to try and at least keep that one going with the addition of Super Sub Turbo, probably the scariest version of Turbo out there, as I'm sure many of our longtime viewers might be fully aware of. Drees back into the midfield as a minute and 20 left on the board. They'll try and find a way past Oath, who gets the infield, actually, and immediately shut down. Having none of it in the midfield, missed straight over to that one. There's now Astro. He does have Fifi in the midfield one more time if he wants to get to it. Instead of going for a lot of solo plays, a demo as well.
Massive.
First one in, bang, into the back of the net.
Continuing to add onto those assist statistics as well. Just another pass coming from Astro, 50ing it with Mist, and the demo to remove Turbo Pulsar from the field. Super Sub, no more. He's going to have to rebuild from the bench.
Very well played by Akrew, getting everybody involved. 3 players all doing their part on and off the ball, and they have got themselves back into this game with a minute left. Pretty quite key to do that as well, because when you see that minute left on that 1-goal lead, that's where suddenly the idea of just playing regular Rocket League kind of goes by the wayside a little bit more. You're more happy to settle. Remember, will not have the choice to do it anymore. Instead, they've got to get back into this. Missed shot! Kept out by Oath. That was such a hard save to make as well, because it's one thing coming at it from an angle and push it away from the net, but when you are just square to the ball, that becomes a lot more difficult.
Yeah, your momentum is almost guiding that ball back into the net, and you cushion it as it finds its way, but instead, being able to send it to the side is fantastic. The final 20, both these teams dead even so far at 1-1, with Fifi going central, though. It's Drees trying to save it away, going to the ceiling. Oath going for that retro Devo backboard play. Wasn't able to pull it off this time, and we approach overtime to open up this best of 5 series. Are we going to get there, though, as Astro face off versus Drees? Fifi happy to pass, but way too far forward. Turbo to intercept.
Yeah, that was one that it felt like muscle memory came into trying to actually go for that play, because I'm absolutely certain that he must have seen Turbo and must have at least known that that one wasn't going to be on. Missed off the reset. Yeah, that's how you deal with missed on the reset. I don't disagree with that one in the slightest. Missed reset or missed backboard double tap. At the second one, actually, yeah, you have no chance of stopping, really. Very much has got a name for himself over the past few seasons, but I gotta say, Akrew have been creating more half chances themselves, as Drees back to Turbo, instantly blocked.
They haven't looked particularly clean, though, at least to open up this overtime. A couple double commits, tripping over each other's laces. Been somewhat messy, but Envy, on the other side of things, they haven't exactly tried to turn too many goals in.
No!
The 50 on the goal line. It was slowed down by Oath, but not nearly enough, with Drees barreling down on him.
I'm going to look at where Oath was, and yeah, just the first touch took it so far away from him. If you're going to do that, it has to be glued to the side of your car. It simply wasn't, and Drees will take the win. And for Akrew, the 2 goals that they conceded, they'll be pretty disappointed with. That first one especially.
Yeah, definitely avoidable. But Envy taking away that 2-1 win. And I actually really want to give a lot of credit to Envy for sure. There was always that question mark of, Illusion coming in. Was it always the plan to bring him from that coach role then into being a player? That's been the question on everyone's lips. But he is out sick for this weekend, and it is an absolutely vital weekend for Envy to still be performing. Their sub Turbo, obviously the GOAT of Rocket League, he's still their sub. It shows the importance of having a good sub. So many teams historically, they've either not really cared, or they'll sign somebody who can't actually play anywhere near this level. We're seeing that Envy are still performing with their sub because he's one of the greatest players of all time. Sure, he's fallen off in recent times, but it is so important that you have somebody that you can trust, you can respect, and also who understands the team.
Imagine that. Like, we see so many teams that will just sign the coach up. No, I don't dislike the idea. Just make sure you've got somebody around. And then you just imagine elsewhere, they just go, oh, what's this? World champion? Oh, well, I don't mind if we do. We'll throw him in there.
World champion, world champion, world champion, world champion. All of the medals are here.
We get ourselves into game number 2 over on Aquadome. And it is Akrew that maybe have some answers to find. Offensively, I do like what they're doing. They haven't overstretched, and the one time that they did go all in, it worked. Got the demos, got the passing plays, got the goal. Simple as that, really. But the goals they conceded just felt like they were tripping over themselves. This is also not being helped out. Trying to play it off the backboard, just gave it away in the midfield.
A couple of awkward positions. Oath found himself in there as well. The ball kept flying over his head, but he didn't reposition to get into a more beneficial position for himself and for his team. He just kept reversing, going forwards, reversing again, and nothing really came of it. You can't keep doing that on the goal line because you'll get in the way, you'll confuse your teammates, unless your communication is incredibly on point. Even then, just position a bit better.
Yeah, every time we've spoken to Greg, and it's the one of the main things. Oh, dearie me, Astro! Well, I was going to say, if you're reversing, you've made a positioning mistake. This one is just an outright mistake. And Drees has got another one.
What would Gregan say about missing it in the corner and then conceding?
I don't know. If that happened with Gregan around, he's just silent for the next like 10 minutes. just goes into his shell. But I'm not talking about that. Like,
but also, you know you're in the wrong. You're like, sorry, Gregan. That was my fault. I know.
Well, tell you what, Envy do not need any apologies sent their way. Very happy with just the gifts that have been handed over to them by Akrew. Again, I like Akrew's gameplay overall. I think it's very solid. But you can't do that against a team like this.
You can't do that against any team that you're facing in the RLCS. You can't literally miss it in the corner. And lots of teams will do that, obviously accidentally, but it will always lead to a problem. It was an unforced error. Astro, we're going to get over it as well. Don't worry. It's only one. There's still 3 minutes left, over 3 minutes left to be getting a goal back. You proved you can do it previously. Fifi on target. The Turbo saving it away, saving it as just that lead. Maintained for Envy so far. A great shot top corner. Oath positioning so much better there. Reversed into the net. Has the opportunity to come out and meet the ball on the line.
I like that you didn't try to overplay it either. Just get yourself there, push it to the corner, work after the fact. Well, 2 minutes gone here. This has been the major problem for Akrew, is that despite the goal that they got earlier on where they could commit all 3 players, is Oath has missed it again. And Dries could have put that top corner had he believed in the miss, which, fair enough at this level of play, you don't expect to see. But it's just been holding Team Envy in this position. You can see what Dries is doing here. He's got so much time. Take a look at where Mist is. He started at the back third. He's now back in position. He's now wiped off the field. Everybody's wiped off the field. This is the best chance Akrew are going to have. And they put the ball wide. Follow up with Fifi. That one's wide. They've managed to hit both sides of the goal. None of it is in. And Akrew can't deliver when it's important.
The double demo in that midfield was perfection. The pass was perfection. And the shot is absolutely slim-slammed wide. A screamer coming out for Akrew. This should be 1-1. But that ingenuity, those opportunities, they can re-emerge. That is not the end of the game for Akrew by any means. There is still opportunities. Just go for those demos more. It completely tore Envy apart. That looks like a great idea. But Turbo receiving that pass from the corner. No goal, but the save is vital again, and a good chance for dribble to Fifi.
Yeah, Turbo felt like he could have done more of that shot, but that seems to be a sentiment that's felt across the entire field. You did mention that you will hope that Akrew will get another chance like that. The problem is that's the first big one they've had across the entirety of this game. It has been so difficult for them to get everyone involved. This time around, it didn't end up with a goal for them. Astro just puts it straight forward. You can't do that. Where's Mist? Back over to Dries. It's so wasteful. Now try and take the challenge. I really feel like Akrew maybe need to start relying here on a bit of individual prowess. Get those 50-50s because these loose balls are being gobbled up by Team Envy. They can just continuously get in the way. Oh, there you go, Oath. Off the wall, followed it up. 1-1.
Brilliant movement from Oath, where Fifi comes in for the challenge, touches it just past Trees on that sideboard, then Oath can double it in. Brilliant assist, and being able to move up so close to your teammate shows a huge amount of trust. And that just continues with the amount of assists that this team gets. Again, 85% of all of their goals have come from assists. It is unreal how much they rely on each other. Maybe sometimes too much, sure, but a lot of teams will play for years and not have that level of teamwork and that level of synergy.
They're up against the defense for now. Dries, I don't even make the infield pass seem too obvious, but still well played by Akrew to read that one, put a player in the corner, make sure that the off-angle double tap wasn't available. Missed back into the midfield. Dries wants to take it. It would have been near impossible angle instead. Leads for Turbo. He's shooting much better than last time. Put it up high and force the save.
Yeah, great idea there from Astro. Just take that first save, and then he touches it slightly over towards his teammate. Not with too much power, just so he can lead it. And again, an overtime is on the horizon. Missed. Look at him lurking down the pitch. He did that previously. It nearly led to a goal. Fifi trying to intercept Dries here. He does so. Will be able to touch it to the floor as well. And that is just another overtime for Akrew. Around 60% of their games this season so far have gone to an overtime. What a ridiculous stat. They just love it.
It's a team as well that we don't know if it's playing up or playing down, just depending on what round it actually is that they're in. For now, though, it's definitely playing up. They have once again got another overtime. They'll look to try and grab another overtime win. This is a good spot to be in as well. They've still on some boost. They've got good pressure. One bad side of it all, you're taking on Mist in some 50-50s. That tends to not work out all that great. Now Dree's off the wall. He's got a bit of time to work with. Have the boost to work with, however. Some boost steals as well. So it's now up to Akrew just to settle down here. Make sure that they don't panic. Make sure they don't try and rush this because they can get caught out if they do. And as Drees just floats straight past the ball. Now it's Akrew's opportunity. Off the wall, Fifi called off, takes the shot, and Mist happy to collect on the backboard.
I really like what Fifi attempted there. He was called off the shot and he immediately repositioned to go for the bump instead. Flying right above the goal line with his flip still available meant that nobody from the net could take that chance and fly up directly. It made it more awkward for the defense. Regardless, though, they did manage to get the goal from it. And a pass from Turbo, we'll see Dree shooting high above the goal. Oath this time, much more strong. Passes it across to Astro.
A dunk in the midfield from Fifi. It's up to Drees to take control yet again. Turbo midfield. Play though far too slow for that one to develop. Off the wall. And yeah, maybe a new way of taking on Mist on a 50-50 challenge is just to leave it alone entirely. Able to wrong foot the defender coming up towards him. Mist does have Turbo actually quite close. Instead, tried to go by himself. I've been clipped actually on his way up. A minute and 40. This is starting to look significantly better for Akrew. They've had more territory than they had at any point during the regular game, and that is going to catch everybody out. Somehow, Drees didn't manage to go too far forward and Turbo on the breakaway.
I'm kind of gutted that didn't go in. Fifi managing to get that flip reset and then shooting it past two defenders, not quite past the third. But instead, 2 minutes in this overtime will be going. So far, Akrew are at a 50% win rate in all of their overtime, so neither love it nor hate it. The seconds just keep ticking past. They do seem to be much more present in this overtime than they were in the main body of the game, however.
Yeah, they're just much harder to read at the moment. Akrew was just the hit and hope originally, just trying to get the ball out of their own third. And then, you know, hope that something went for them later on. But instead, much harder to read. They're disguising their plays. We talked about it earlier on when you said about the backboard play from Fifi. As there's the shot! What a banger by Oath!
Oh, cut the difference and send it in the net, mate. Oath from the corner, taking Turbo's bluff and sending it at the net. He saw that the opportunity was coming in for Turbo to get a beastly clear. He doesn't fall for it. He fancies the shot himself, and he will be bringing Akrew level with Envy. And bear in mind, if they lose here, I believe we will not be seeing them attend the London Major.
So right now, it's still in their hands. Okay. They are in a good position, but it doesn't help at the end of the day. The only thing that we know is that if Envy get through today, they're secured. Everything else gets a little bit more Gibbs's problem to sort of explain to everybody else.
What is Gibbs's problem is Direct's problem. So, sorry, lads.
But yeah, getting confirmation as well from Direct that Envy can make the major with a loss. The only problem that I really feel like that sets for them is if they do lose here, Complexity are still in this tournament. And Complexity with another win in the next round, I think would either go equal or potentially maybe even leapfrog them with a victory. So whilst the NA still looking good with their overall points, they have the potential to maybe send 7 teams. But right now, 6 is sort of you're comfortable. So top 6, you want to stay there. And currently Envy occupying one of those spots. But that could very well change very quickly, as it tends to over in Rocket League. But for Akrew, full kudos over to them. I wasn't impressed in the regular base game of that, but they adapted, they changed, and they managed to put everything together that they needed to, Stumpy. So from Akrew in this game, I'm going to look for a little bit more of the same. Just going to hope that they control the ball a little bit more. They are doing exactly that for now. Drees takes over, missed midfield, but Astro from early challenge. Off the demo, it's going to be an opportunity for Envy to set up. Here's Mist off the backboard. Just ran out of boost at the time, but if Mist has the choice, he's taking that the whole way.
Yeah, I think Mist so far, we've not seen him be as influential as I'm sure he would want to be. I've been very impressed with Drees so far, where he's been taking a lot of shots. He's been taking on the role of the man who really wants to make sure that he is the spearhead of this team with Turbo assisting. But Mist hasn't been necessarily the star man that we've grown to expect from Envy. Meanwhile, it's all 3 on Akrew that have been impressing me thus far. With a minute gone, it has been that pressure that we saw in the overtime from Akrew, though, and maybe the turning and changing of the guard.
Oh, it's an opportunity here where they can just make the mark that they want to and really announce themselves for next season. Maybe even you get invites, you know, it's not like the off-season's going to be empty. You can make yourself a team that has to be paid attention to by organizers, then yes, they will definitely pay attention to you as Oath. Can't take it all the way around. Beefy, though, back over. He's still there. That was an unchallenged play for the longest time. Astro shot, at least on target, but Drees can keep that on the rolling path of Turbo Pulsar. It's been so difficult. I love the way Akrew kind of defend that, where it's just send someone. You're not trying to win. You're just there. We'll make it easier on the next player up, but as long as you're there, the play isn't on. And you're mentioning earlier on how Mist hasn't had the opportunity to be that star player. I feel like it's because of that, because he's getting past the first player and there's just too much work to do afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Akrew have been doing. They've been shutting down Mist. They must know, right, that he is the player that will be the difference maker, theoretically, on Envy. He's the one that has made life hell for the top of North America for a very long time historically. Great chance for a doink there. Oath isn't able to get it in, though, but I still respect the ambition to go for it. And Mist, again, being shut down early by Astro. The ball starting to run away from Mist and pinched into the net. Drees flips the coin and finds the lead.
I just want to see the angles that we come in from here as Oath. Yeah, he's on the inside and Drees is fully aware of the angles to play with. As long as you jump and get middle of that one, it's always going to start heading dangerously towards the path of your net. And Drees comes out on top, gets it in off the post, 1-0. Akrew have to try and chase up this game yet again, but it's a position that they have got used to. And it's a position where, up to this point, I would feel more comfortable saying that they can get this back than I did in the last game. Maybe not quite so comfortable being stuck in that position, though.
Mist just went for a flip reset, landed then on his backside and tried to go for like a pogo or something just to really flex on Akrew, but instead he just lazily flops towards that net and nothing comes of it. Drees like over the top of two players, isn't able to get the shot off and Turbo into the corner. Becomes one of those back and forth once Akrew need to carry that goal. And again, pinching from an Akrew player towards the net. They cannot keep doing that. Beefy, low on boost. It will see yet another pinch. This time, not quite finding the blue net.
You did pick up on something very key there, Stumpy, which is that it has been a little bit ping pong at times. And whilst I think Akrew started off this game with a much better idea of what to do, ping pong against a team like Envy, they hit the ball better than you, just outright. You don't win that, really. They are going to maintain.
They ping better than your pong.
Exactly. But this is a better position, actually. Astro waiting in the midfield. A little bit of an attempted play out of their own side. Both, however, can't keep that pressure going. Realize he was the last man. Beefy does have options. Turbo actually covered that. I think he was aware of the player behind him.
I was so impressed with all of that. Like, I was looking like, okay, Turbo, when do you leave? Like, when do you go? But he was like, no, he carries on, and for very good reason. He had like 60 boost. He can happily burn that as he goes through and gets the bump. Turbo Pulsar, has he got a fire lit underneath him?
Well, we definitely know what the fired up version of Turbo Pulsar is. And it's very dangerous to see because, well, he has just always been that guy in Rocket League and maybe trying to reestablish that yet again with big chance, actually, the weekend where his team does need a good performance. Might very well deliver it. Gets the demo. Unfortunately for him, the rolling ball is not quick enough to just skip in front of the net. 30 seconds. Akrew needs some ideas. This is a better one off the backboard. But Drees, he's in a team with Mist. He knows what a backboard read looks like.
I reckon Oath had that as well. I back Oath to have had that read, but instead Mist getting in the way and both of Akrew getting in each other's way. Drees, though, missing that. Can Akrew get another late game equalizer as they have done so far through this series? Astro really had the chance. Will this pass from Oath come over? Yes, it will. Yes, it'll be on target. And yes, we have our third overtime.
You just see all of Envy sitting, waiting, daring. And it was the bravest layoff pass from Fifi that got the goal for his teammate. That is so brave and so magnificent, Stumpy.
Just excellent. Just absolutely excellent work. Like, just can they carry that on? Can FIFA get the pass in? It does get blocked away by Mist, and now it's going to be a 3v1 versus Astro.
Oh, he's gone.
He just scored that one with another miss. Astro, stop bumping your teammates, man. You've done that like 4 times. It's never been good.
Yeah, you kind of caused the problem for us. Now get out of the way while we try and clean it up. As those midfield, Astro, good setup. Got players around. Mist avoids getting bumped. 0-1-0 boost. Didn't want to fully commit. It meant that his recovery back would have been somewhat slow. The play to the back, Astro not only gets the ball, but he leaves boost for his teammates. What is it with these 0-second goals, man? It has been an epidemic of them throughout this entire split. It's happening more and more often. Maybe we really are going to London for a major. It just seems like everyone's kind of in the mood for it. As the infield pass, Mist is going to find the goal. You don't find a setup much better than that one.
Coming from that left wall, all Drees had to do was find the target man. Astro did not see him whatsoever from the blind spot. The fog descends and Mist will dominate. Envy getting that vital goal to send them ahead in this series in the 3rd overtime in a row. And
I'm over them, mate. I'm done.
You're done? Bored of them?
Yeah, I'm done with overtime.
Couple of regulation finishes. Yeah.
A cheeky 1-0. All right.
Love a 1-0.
Regulation 1-0. First goal in the opening 3 seconds off the kickoff.
Oh, that'd be lovely. That'd be a dream, mate.
But we just keep getting exciting Rocket League with 0 seconds goal and overtime so anyone can win.
Unbelievable. But they're all 2-1s, and now we are 2-1 in this series as well.
If only I had like a scoreline that I really wanted that included 2-1s instead of the 1-0 series.
That'd be nice. It's the imperfect binary. It's bad binary. That's all it is.
It is.
I want to give a lot of credit to Oath as well. I appreciate that Envy did just win that overtime, but Oath, I'm being told, has scored 87% of all goals that Akrew have scored in this tournament so far. 87%. Only 3 goals that Akrew have scored, Oath has not been involved in.
And you were saying earlier on that a lot of these goals are assisted. This is just feed Oath. Where is Oath? Do you reckon he's got like, every one of these cards has got like the name tags above? Do you think his is bigger? It's just his Oath. You know where he is.
He's a big bumbling Oath.
Oh. We'll see what if he can have a big impact over here in this game, and one that his team do need. Mind you, we've been talking about how nice it is just to make your marker ahead of the off-season. Good money on this as well. You win this. This is the biggest paycheck you're going to get for quite some time, because this is the final tournament of Akrew season.
I mean, win this and you get yourself another $2,000.
Exactly.
That's what you do. That's amazing. That's so good. Like, yeah, this is such a great position. And like you say, although Akrew season is over, they still have a lot to fight for. The off-season coming up, there'll be teams that are looking to change up their rosters. You know, there'll be orgs looking to sign. There'll be a bit of everything.
Yes, and there's always going to be that temptation there as well to prove yourself to your teammates, as well as maybe even prove yourself to potential other teammates. But none of these players will be thinking about that for now. It's all about what's ahead of them. It's all about trying to deal with the pressure that Team Envy have put them under. A little bit more of a glimpse to the early stages of Game 2 as Fifi bullies Mist off the ball. Very physical play. And it has to be said, every single time that we've seen Akrew get into a position where they can play physically, they do well with it.
Yeah, I mean, we look at the 7-11 top plays earlier. That was the 3-man demo from Akrew on NRG. It was just bam, 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 NRG fully removed, and they got a goal from it. Like that is something that they do. But Envy themselves, they've been turning up the demos since winter. They have increased the amount that they've been putting forward as we've headed into spring. So the physical game is more than capable for both of these teams. We've not seen it so much so far in this series, but if either of them want to turn it on, and it really looks like Akrew want to, then they're in a great position to do so.
And also, you see from the reset, trying to get themselves out their own side of the field, it's not something you would have seen earlier on in the series. Akrew have settled into just doing what they know that they can do. As Astro back into the midfield, have to try and follow it up. Turbo, just the roadblock waiting for him. We're halfway done here in this game. Still no goals either side. Oath takes his time, goes backboard, Want to leave that lingering threat for the defender. One of them's gone. Mist is on that backboard. Managed to hit it actually into Turbo, but still Oath is around off the backboard one more time. Nobody available to take an early shot. And yes, despite bumping one, there was still 2 more around.
Yeah, disappointing shot from Astro as well. Just couldn't get any power on that. Realistically, he should have taken the touch and maybe flicked it high because the boost was starting to dwindle on the side of Envy. And then Fifi could have come in for the shot, but instead it's just going to continue in a slightly different pattern of attack for Akrew. Envy still hunting for their game-leading goals. So far, they've scored first every single time, and yet they are only ahead by 1 game so far. It's been a brilliant battle back and forth, and pass from Turbo Pulsar leaves it over, but instead, look, he just comes straight back into the play. Turbo has been wanting to put his mark on this series as well.
Yeah, the infield pass looked like it was muscle memory again, where you just feel like you're supposed to infield, but there's nobody actually around. That one, very dangerous. It shoots into the blind spot. And Astro does have a target downfield. Not with that, though. Not with 12 boost. You ain't making it to that. As Oath instead going to go backboard. Always covered. Team Envy. Happy just they've always got 2 players around, 1 in goal, 1 backboard. Nice and simple. But Fifi's taken on a lot of players. Now he's a good shot. Oh! Didn't get it.
Fifi's movement through that, though, to get that block into the pass was absolutely spectacular. And the block again from Fifi to Astro. Going to be taking that up that left wall. Can he get it past Drees? Does attempt to with the low 50 and Oath. The Oath breaker destroying that lead advantage that Envy was searching for.
Watch Fifi. He forced Drees to go early. Just brilliant. Get up there, pre-jump, go when you are uncomfortable. Otherwise, I'm going to wipe you off the map. And for the first time, Akrew have got the first goal. And they'll look to try and hold on to this for the final minute. It hasn't been that simple. It might not be that simple. Turbo hits the crossbar. Malpinel on the top. Drees tasked with finishing it, but the players back into position for Akrew.
Fifi getting that block off the pre-jump, the double commit as well. I can't advise it very often, but when you get that save, you can't be too upset. A great pass central from Myth, but Turbo Pulsar plagued by shooting eye. Drees having a shot saved away again by Fifi. Missed into the corner man. Astro down for the own goal shot, but doesn't get it. Drees shooting again, and
look at the
on
boost.
That goal line. Time and time again, you're right. That boost completely depleted, but Envy, they're not exactly boost rich right now.
No, that was the big push, and they've had to back down and reset. Not the best catch either from Turbo. He needs to take the block, and he's actually managed to create something from that. Pops the ball into the air. Missed, not able to run onto a shot from that position, though. You can see Akrew just trying to spread out, make sure the backboard is covered, make sure the infield is covered. They're still up against it here. 0 boost. Although, a shooting angle from there, always asking an awful lot. Turbo is just lingering. He's waiting for his chance, but he's not going to get it. Akrew clear, and Akrew send us to game 5.
This is where that heart rate monitor really starts to top out, where you get into the, I am sure on Envy, we're looking at a solid 200 BPM. Like, this is gamer hours now. I am so impressed by Akrew for taking this to 5, and I'm also very impressed by Envy for holding them back as much as they have been. But it seems like a new gear has been reached for Akrew. They get that first goal. They get that first, that first win without the overtime. Envy, they are very, very up against it now. And Turbo Pulsar, a massive underperformer in that game. Only 96 points to him with a single shot. They need him to step up.
Yeah, and there was a lot of times there where the shots were falling to him. He was the one waiting for it. And unfortunately, just couldn't put it into the back of the net. But for Akrew, the positioning is on point. And now that they've ironed out those mistakes, they look so difficult to get past defensively, because we look back to those opening 2 games, the goals they were conceding were their fault. It was just complete misplays. And now that they've got rid of those, it's been very impressive and very hard to try and get any sort of goal scoring opportunity, because there's always a play right in front of them. For Akrew, just keep this going, really. I would say try and play without pressure. Yeah, you're just over on Champions Field up against, players that you have been watching for the longest time and that you've seen can do it over on this map. So this should be good. I'm looking forward to seeing what this team can do. Champions Field brought to you by Nissan. For Team Envy, it is all about reestablishing just how good they are.
Champions Field is where so many stories are written, and it's where so many stories end as well, and where we will be concluding that World Championship that has now been announced. The tickets are going on sale on June on the 3rd. And look at how immediately that pressure builds on the side of Akrew. It is turned away, but everything just feels different on this pitch.
Yeah, this is the one where you know it's got very real and that you know nobody else has got second chances. Fifi didn't need a second chance.
Fifi's on fire. Look at Drees just waiting, seeing what can you do? Really, Fifi, what can you... Oh, it's that. Oh, it's something spectacular. Catching the flip reset, sending it to the opposite post, and the lead. An incredibly early goal for Akrew here. And Envy, they are on the chase. They are not only chasing this game win, this series win, they are chasing this season to be in their hands.
Can we have a quick go at Fifi, by the way? We just bigged up Champions Field and what it means. Fifi comes in like it's a training program. Just find the off-angle flip reset, get it past Drees. Oh, no problem. He's now tasked with at least getting a block. Defense, though, that we do see tends to suffer on a field like this, where you can't afford to make those twitch decisions that might put your team in a bad spot. Just got to trust everybody. The infield. Oh, that looked dangerous. Turbo almost right over the top of Mist, who did recover the play. But again, I said this actually in the last game. It just feels like Turbo has the on or off switch when it comes to the infield passes. And doesn't fully know the lay of the field.
Yeah, that one was just behind him by like half a car length. Any less, and he could have just, Mist could have stopped, it would have bounced high, would have been okay. But it being behind made it very, very tough for Mist to be able to take control of that ball again. But it's a minute and a half, and it's still that lead for Akrew. Envy's offense is building, though. It is putting a lot of pressure on. But Dre's burning a lot of boost there to realistically go nowhere, and only Mist on Envy with anything in the tank.
Yeah, Mist also moved forward, so couldn't take it on the first attempt, had to go further back, and that does offer the midfield now. Over to Akrew, who look to try and just build those defensive lines. Fifi is on the far side. Oath looks to try and take Drees on his challenge. And Fifi had a moment of hesitation. Put him off angle for continuing the play for his team, but this is where Fifi seems to do some good work. Actually ends up leaving it. Two players from Akrew all jumping up. Drees off the wall, and yeah, 25 boost. He couldn't take it first time. Try to get the pass over to Mist. And that one just far too telegraphed.
The boost really dwindling. When Akrew get one chance to attack, they seem to just use every ounce of boost that they've got, and then it doesn't lead any chance to actually try and boost starve Envy. So whenever they are getting these chances, they then can't continue for two. Turbo trying to go up for two of his own from that backboard, and Fifi taking it low, passing off at Turbo. Pulsar getting in the way of that ball. With Astro 50ing it, though, it falls to Mist again. Really starting to get big and proud in this series. 20 for Drees here. Goes low, goes for the pinch. But Oath on that goal line manages to save it away. 2 minutes remain before Akrew destroy Envy.
What a statement that would be for Akrew.
Yeah.
Just like they were not figured into anybody's plans really for this weekend. But that's the joy of the open format, is you can make the weekend about you. All you got to do is get in there and win your games. Suddenly, the whole world is talking about what you've been up to. See a couple of bump attempts, a new look here from Envy. They've got very aggressive, understanding that a lot of players holding back right now for Akrew seem to be very content with settling on this 1-goal lead. Mist. Can't get the ball pass. Oh, wow. The mechanics of Akrew are on point. Fifi. He's actually got a shot here. If he had more boost, might have been able to just drive that one straight into the near post. Now the backboard. Drees is the last place he wants to be. It's not the best clear. He does have Mist in support. Turbo pops the ball upwards. Mist, has he got the boost and the play? Oh, the backboard almost dropped down. And Drees just didn't want to fully jump in. It would have been a blind pre-jump. And there was just no way he was going to commit to that. But it's still more time off the clock.
It would have been scary, but instead, now it just falls to Akrew yet again to challenge. But with Drees managing to work it past Astro, he goes to that bottom corner, and Turbo Pulsar will meet it in the bottom right. That is such a good pass across from Drees. He knows, send it goalward, Turbo Pulsar will smash it in.
And just no bite on the fake challenge. Astro tried to get an early move, but he just couldn't position himself well enough to make anybody else believe. gave up the inside, and that was enough. Team Envy fight back. It's another 1-goal lead that just disappears in the final minute. Came a little bit too used to that one. The last game, the only one that we haven't seen that really play out in. Yes, there's the real lesson to you, Akrew. Champions Field, never easy. As Fifi back into the mid. Instead, it's Turbo, takes it. Might go the entire way. It's the set. Mist was coming in, and Dries took it off him.
Oh, Dries once saw his name up in lights, wanted to be the man to get that 2-1, but isn't it instead? Turbo Pulse being bumped away from that ball, will flick it high. With Fifi coming in to challenge, he does not have any boost to his name, will get caught out by Dries. Nothing spawning in the corner. Oath to shoot, Oath to get the crossbar, and nearly continuing that fairy tale story for Akrew.
It's one of those times that you look at a shot like that and say, the keeper should have it. But because of the situation,
and
you suddenly don't believe quite so much. And yeah, it does seem like it is going to be anybody. It's going to be Oath. They need to get the ball back over to him. Missed. That's such a good clear. Astro couldn't get to it in the midfield. That was 2 players actually gone. Then they're going to take a long time to get back. Turbo's first touch very heavy. Ooh. And Fifi will be so thankful for that. Gave him enough of a chance to get his players back, but my goodness, they left him in a bad spot. And it's when they haven't recovered from. Turbo Pulsar has sent his team into the next round.
The super sub continues to prevail. The man with the winning goal is the one who was brought in at the last second. Our 4-time world champion, our GOAT, rams it into the net, and Envy take it through into the next round, and they send Akrew home.